And we back because we black. Oh yeah. Got my camera all close all up on me like that. What we doing right now? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday night. It's Friday night, man. We are here for another edition of the CJK experience. I am your host, Mr. CJKyles, your humble host, broadcasting live from the city of Northville, the beautiful city, I might add. And it's time to get into it. We're going to get it popping. But before we get it popping, I like to bring in the crew real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Priest.
Hi.
What's good? What's good? You doing all right?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing well. Can't wait to get into this topic. And last but certainly not least, Mr. King Gene, aka Marcus. Now, King Gene, I got a question. Not,
bro.
I've only referred to you as King Gene ever. I've never called you Marcus, but the past couple shows I've heard you say, well, my name is Marcus. So is it the King Gene or Marcus? Which one is it?
You know, I'm easy to get along with, bro. Whichever one come to mind.
Because you've been the King Gene for as long as I remember. I was talking to Didi. She was like, is his name King Gene or Marcus? I was like, I guess it's Marcus. But I like the King Gene. Ain't no wrong with Marcus either, but I guess I'm just used to it.
Okay, well, look, stick with the King Gene then. We good, brother.
All right, man. So Japrice, King Gene, how y'all week been so far?
My week, it's been a little. I mean, you know what? I can't complain. I'm grateful, but it's been a little overwhelming for me.
Okay. Well, hopefully, everything goes smoothly, and it should be a good show tonight. Help you take your mind off things. And I did come with some receipts. King Gene, what's the deal? How your week been?
Man, my week was wonderful, my brother. We kind of like Japrice, he was busy,
Mm-hmm.
We got some things done, so overall it was good. It really was.
Bad. Well, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to talk about Dave Chappelle and the cancel culture. Dave Chappelle versus the cancel culture. Are any of you all familiar with Dave Chappelle and his work?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Are you guys fans of Dave Chappelle? Do you like his work?
It's absolutely
yes.
honest. I'll tell you that.
Especially his latest one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I enjoyed it too. But so that will be the main topic for tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, I could not let slide by Miss Claire Huxtable. Y'all thought I was gonna let her off the hook. Y'all thought I was gonna let Claire off the hook. Oh, I got the receipts. Y'all didn't think I was gonna come with the receipts. I got them. I got the receipts. I'm about to pull them up now. So 2 weeks ago, ladies and gentlemen, we were talking about Claire Huxtable. Well, I was saying that Claire Huxtable, the character, not the woman who played Claire Huxtable, but the character, was for the streets. So I decided that it would be appropriate for me to pull up some receipts, so y'all won't think I'm just talking, because a couple people were upset and they made comments on one of the videos like, the times was different, blah, blah, blah. Claire Huxtable wasn't for the streets and everything like that. It was a couple people who were quite upset with your man for saying that. So I figured it would only be appropriate for me to show some receipts. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present Exhibit A. Well, let me turn this music off so y'all can hear it in the full scope and see it in the full scope. But I would like to present to you all Exhibit A. Hold on. Let's see what we got here. Now, this is Claire Huxtable. Can y'all see that?
We can.
All right. Now, this is Claire Huxtable, with another man, and Cliff is right there in the kitchen. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let Claire take up the whole screen so y'all can really see how much for the streets that she was. So let's check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Claire Huxtable. the receipt number one. I got a couple of them, boys and girls. Receipt number one.
Now that's for Ray Jones.
Mm. Yep. Yep.
No, Ray, that's for you.
All right. So that was receipt number one, ladies and gentlemen. King Gene, Caprice, what you just saw, that was exhibit A. Now, am I tripping? Or was she out of pocket for that? Now, I don't know about y'all, but it couldn't no other man just walk in and kiss my woman like that, and all smiled up, and he kissing her from behind and all that. And he just walk out the door and they just laugh at me like I'm a blumbling idiot. What y'all think of that?
I remember that exact episode too.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Was that disrespectful?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It definitely was.
Yeah.
Back then I didn't understand, of course, but then now I'm like, okay, yeah. I remember that that exact episode.
Mm-hmm. And Clip just standing there watching. No big deal. Don't do nothing about it. King Gene, what you think of what you just saw, player?
I think a fight would have broke out in the kitchen, brother. That's what I think. Let's be honest with you. This is my wife, man. You know,
right?
I can see a hug, maybe. You know, shake her hand, dab up, but don't kiss my wife, man. What's wrong with you,
man? Not only did he kiss the wife, did you see how she laughed at it? Hold on, y'all. Did y'all see how she laughed at it? Let me play it again for those who may have missed it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But he laughing.
No, that's for Ray Jones.
I made that for my homie Ray Jones, who's in love with Claire Huxtable, who thinks she's the end all be all. But clearly, y'all can see she wasn't shit. So, did you see that laugh though?
Okay. Listen, listen, ain't no way I can fight you on this. You know what I mean? Look, we already established that this woman was the prototype for the modern woman. She was the original.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a husband, man, and your husband he's a nice guy, you know.
Right.
He's a provider male. I give Cliff that now. But other than that, man, you know, she wouldn't go as far as she did if he wasn't in agreement with it. So
mm-hmm.
You know, I hold him accountable for a lot of this, you know, because if he was, you know, if he was the kind that didn't take a whole lot, that man would never have went up there and kissed his wife.
Mm-hmm.
We knew there was gonna be some repercussions and furniture moving. So
right.
I don't know.
Caprice, anything you like to add to that?
No, I mean, I already like peeped out how Claire Huxtable was. I think we talked about this, right?
But I just wanted to show the receipts because some people were saying,
"Oh yeah, definitely
talking mess."
And a lot of mouths dropped to the floor when you said that. I think on your last podcast. I'm happy you do have the receipts because I'm quite sure some people probably didn't or forgot to watch some episodes. But yeah,
here's another receipt too. By the way, got a few of them.
You know, your mouth still gets that little curl in the corner when you get embarrassed.
The table must be ready by now.
I was too eager back then, too, wasn't I? That's why you started calling me puppy.
Actually, Cliff gave you that name.
That figures. He never liked me.
Couldn't stand you.
Did he have good reason not to like me?
So why you out to dinner with the nigga if he don't like you? If he didn't like him? Disrespectful ass.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That was receipt number 2. So not only was she kissed by a man and, you know, the way they was hugged up, but she also went out to dinner with him. With some other man. This is a different dude. That he don't like. Not only did she go out to dinner with a man, but she went out to dinner with a man that Cliff did not like. Ladies and gentlemen, for the streets. That was Exhibit B. Let me see if I got my last receipt. Hold on. Let me see if I got my last receipt to show y'all how Claire Huxtable. I just really want to see people defend this. Oh, this is another one. This is a good one right here, y'all. Hold on. This is a good one. This might be my favorite one. Let me see.
That we made along the way that maybe our parents didn't approve of either.
Like what?
Well, for one, I know my parents would have liked for me to have married a good-looking man with a lot of money. And a smaller nose.
Yeah. Yep. Claire Huxtable, everybody. Claire Huxtable. King Gene, you look like you lost for words.
You know, that ain't never the case. No, man, I'm just, I feel bad for Cliff, man. I really do. I feel bad for Cliff because in this particular instance, man, and even if she was joking, I've always believed that even when the person is, adding a little comedy to the situation, there's a certain part of the joke that's absolutely true.
100%.
So which part of that joke was true? Because it all was negative.
Yeah, all of it was true.
I agree, brother.
I believe she meant every word of it. Japrice, final thoughts on what she just said about her wanting to marry somebody. They wish she would have married somebody of a different, just a different person.
Yeah, that's pretty like, I don't know. That's like the ultimate like disrespect. But I don't know what was what was the gist behind that being in the show. I don't know. I think it was supposed to be like a joke or something. I guess I remember that episode. They were like joking with each other, but that's just something you just don't say. Just don't say that.
I mean, I couldn't imagine something like my chick saying to me, well, my mama did want me to be with somebody who was about 6'5" and, who got a head full of hair and all that. I'd be like, well, go get his ass then. Bye. You did? Like, man, and you never seen an episode where Cliff checked her. At least I haven't. He never checked Claire for being out of pocket. Never.
Nope.
He
just
never
let it happen.
Yep. Absolutely. There's no way another man will be able to walk in my damn house and be able to kiss my woman like that. And if I found out that and not only did she go out to dinner with a man that he didn't like, she told him that she went. Told him. So, yeah. So all the people that was upset that I said what I said about Claire, I just gave you 3 receipts right there. Claire Huxtable, ladies and gentlemen, was for the streets. But let's get into the homie Dave Chappelle. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Dave Chappelle has released his new special called The Closer. Have y'all seen it yet?
Yes, I have.
Okay. King G, yeah, you seen it. Have you seen any of his recent Netflix specials?
I have. Okay.
And y'all know Dave Chappelle is quite controversial for the things that he says, and quite particularly going at the LBGQ plus community. And they have been quite critical of Dave Chappelle because he talks about them. And in this day and age, if you say anything about that community, they will cancel you, or at least try to. So, Japrice, let me get your thoughts on a special since you've seen it.
I liked every bit of it. You have to really pay attention and actually listen, and not listen with your with your feelings, and just listen and prepare to have a time, not you know, some people go and listen to things already with this like negative, you know, kind of have this negative faith already. And I don't know if you've noticed, but it was like these two women
in the
on,
crowd.
huh?
Are you talking about the two women in the crowd?
The two women in the crowd, you can tell that they just
Two
did
white
not.
women.
Yes, the two heavy
Yep.
said they just did not like they just did not like. You could tell. I was like, why did you go to his? Why were you there? And you could tell they were just like so offended, or didn't find anything. Anything that he said was funny or anything. I don't have a problem with anything that he said. I kind of agree. Yeah, to me it was jokes, it was funny. But if you have to like really listen and pay attention to what he's saying, you know, and not going and listening with your feelings, already having your mind made up on what you think about him.
Okay. King Gene. Now, what? So you haven't seen this one, which is fine. What do you think about his last few specials when he is being him and telling what he perceives as his truth and what he believes? What do you think about that?
Well, you know what? I think that in the last few shows that he's done, he's been the most authentic, especially when he was talking about, you know, what happened with George Floyd and how, you know, there was some instance in his family where, you know, racism was present and it was undeniable. But here's the thing. If you go back, I don't care how far you go, since the invention of comedy, you have had individuals who have not been afraid to say exactly what a situation is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's all Dave's doing. He's just saying this is what this is, you all. For those of you all who are afraid to make known how you feel, then I'll do it. I do, because I'm unapologetic about it. Here it is.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's absolutely necessary, man, because somebody had some of the things that he says, you really want to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the you know, some of the thoughts that he puts out there, there's a lot of people that feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so the ones that feel that way, they resonate with it. But the ones that don't, then, you know, maybe he's just not your cup of tea.
Mm. Well, here's my thing. I watched the special, and to me, the special wasn't. It was awesome. I enjoyed it. It was a masterfully thought out special. But when I watched Dave Chappelle's special, it's kind of a unique experience from a comedian standpoint because, like, I'm a huge fan of stand-up comedy. You know what I'm saying? And Dave Chappelle is personally my favorite comedian of all time. But when I watch a Dave Chappelle special, I don't necessarily watch it to laugh, if that makes sense. Like, I want it to be funny, and it is funny, but I'm more so getting an intellectual lesson because Dave Chappelle has a way of framing society and framing culture in a way that is very digestible, and he has a way of putting a mirror up to society and saying, pretty much saying, now, isn't this foolish? I mean, come on. Isn't this really foolish? So his specials are awesome. You know, they're funny, they're great. You know, but when I go to certain comedians, I look for certain things. Like Corey Holcomb, he's another one of my favorite comedians. Like when I go see Corey Holcomb, I know I'm about to be side splitting, you know, laughing like that. Cat Williams, same thing. But when I go to watch Dave Chappelle, I'm going to learn something, if that makes sense. Or I'm really going to hear a different perspective, not so much waiting for the punchline, if that makes sense. Y'all feel what I'm saying? Do that make sense to y'all?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because
So
he's very much a storyteller also, man. He's a good storyteller.
100%. Yeah. So let's get into the nitty gritty, man. I've already been canceled once, so it is what it is. We'll just keep coming back. The LBGTQ plus community are very upset with him. I'm very upset. They're trying to cancel him. They're trying to get his specials removed off Netflix. And what do y'all think about that? I'll actually, what do y'all think about that?
Living in a country where one of the tenets that really the whole society is built off of it, freedom of speech. If he's not inciting, I remember watching a special that Jordan Peterson did, you know, and I think he summed it up very well. He said, if a person is not inciting violence by what they say, a person simply just expressing their opinion, whatever form that may take, should be acceptable, because it's a dangerous thing when you go to try to police what people say, because who's going to do it? Who's going to say what's right and what's wrong to say? Who's going to do it? And then after you find a group of people that can do it, are these people trustworthy?
Right.
So why not, why are we and especially in regards to this particular community, you choose whatever kind of lifestyle you want to live. But now in making that choice, you got to understand everybody's not going to agree with that choice, and you shouldn't require them to. If you're confident in what you've chosen to do, get on about the business and leave the rest of that foolishness alone.
Right. Caprice, what do you think about that situation, especially with that community being so upset with him?
I'm still on how can somebody be transphobic. A phobia is an extreme or irrational fear of something. I don't think anybody is fearful of a homosexual person or a trans person. Does that, when they say transphobic, is that only for transgenders or is that for the whole community? I don't understand how somebody could be transphobic because they don't agree with the lifestyle, that this person lives. How can I be scared of that? And this whole council culture and calling people these names transphobic and what's the other one they love to say, calling men starts with an M, I forgot what it's called, misogyny. They just be calling people these names and not even really knowing what the names are. I'm still stuck on that. I don't understand how Dave Chappelle could be transphobic even after he told us that story about his friend that is a transgender. And it's even after that, you guys are still, I don't know. I believe it was a very, very good way to, I think he said that was his last show for a while. I think it was a very good, he went out with a bang. And you just can't cancel somebody that don't really care, he's, as you can see, he's never went back and changed anything that he said. He's never apologized. So it's how can you cancel somebody like that? I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. And I do like how he made that example out of that the rapper who said something about, I guess, the community or what they thought he said something. And it's he could be this type of person in something that he did in the past. But hey, don't let him say anything about that community. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. As far as the being so sensitive, I feel like comedians have a unique stance when it comes to certain things, because as far as I know about stand-up comedy, you are supposed to be in a position to where you can say whatever you want. And if it's funny, then it's funny, and you can't please everybody. But I remember when Michael Richards had went off on a tirade, and I guess he was getting heckled by some black people or something like that, and somebody really made him upset, and he started going off calling people N-words, N-word, N-word, N-word. I'll hang you from a tree. Do you guys remember that?
No, I've never even heard. Michael Richard?
From Seinfeld. He was Kramer on Seinfeld.
Okay, yeah. I don't think I remember Kramer, but no, I don't even remember anything about, wow. I need to look that up.
Yeah. Well, don't look it up because I'll do it for you. I have the receipts. I like to come with receipts. So, because I don't want people to say, well, you're just talking to be talking. But ladies and gentlemen, this is Michael Richards blowing up Yeah. Hold on. Let me hold on. Let me make sure it's clear and fair use, everybody. All that good stuff. Let's see.
Shut up! 50 years ago, you had you upside down with a fucking fork up your ass. You can talk. Your brain now, motherfucker. Rolls ass out. He's a nigger. He's a nigger.
I'm gonna fast forward that part. But yeah. Let me see.
It shocks you to see what's buried beneath your stupid motherfuckers. What was it called for? It's not called for you to interrupt my ass, you cheat motherfucker! You guys have been talking. I don't know.
So yeah, that was Kramer from Seinfeld having a meltdown. And people are laughing. People are still laughing. Hang you from a tree. N-word this, N-word that. You know. That wasn't in the realm of a joke. That was him stating how he really felt. And the next night, he was on some late night show. And people were laughing. He wasn't canceled. Now, he was like a C-list celebrity, but he wasn't canceled or anything like that. And that is the one thing that I will say about black people to me. I think one of black people's biggest problems is that they're too forgiving, in my opinion, because had he said that about Jewish people, or had he said that about, even the gay people, the LGBTQ plus, they would have gone out of their way to make sure he was canceled. You dig? So what do y'all think about that?
Wow. First of all, man, that's the first time I've ever seen that. Well, CJ, it kind of caught me by surprise, man. But I'm not surprised that it happened. I was more surprised that how free flowing it was after it started.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it's something I've been wanting to say for years, and I have my opportunity, and I'm going to give it everything I have.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it appeared to me. But now here's the thing too. Like you mentioned, this was not within the frame of a joke. This was him frustrated. And so he took his frustrations out on the individuals that were in the crowd. Maybe they were heckling him. I can't say. He said they were. But is that, is that reason to throw racial slurs out? Right?
Right.
And then all the profanity. Y'all know I don't do that. The profanity, that was too much. And I don't think that. I think the individuals in the crowd that were laughing, as I mentioned before, I think they identified with what he was saying. I think they agreed.
Yeah. So, and I show that to defend Dave, because let's get this clear right now. Black people are not going to cancel Dave Chappelle. That ain't going to happen.
Not at all.
Dave Chappelle would literally have to be on some R. Kelly stuff to be canceled in the black community. And the black community is having a hard time letting R. Kelly go. You dig what I'm saying? Because of all the music. So no, that's not going to happen. And it's funny because Dave Chappelle actually made a joke about Kramer. And how ironic is this?
They got a real live paparazzi. I see you.
Fair use. Fair use.
What do you think is a game? Watching out for the media. I'm like Bigfoot, nigga. When people see me, they freak the fuck out. Even other celebrities get surprised to see me. Hey, thanks. Come on, you only got 10 minutes. God damn. So, no, it's good. I don't have any material. That stuff's for pussies. Every time I see this backdrop, I think about Kramer fucking up. That's why I don't want to see no camera phones on my ass tonight. Cause I'm telling you right now, you know, like I'm not wrapped too tight. Like they put a lot of that corporate pressure on me. So this might be the night that I snap, and you guys be lucky. It's like having tickets to see Siegfried and Roy the night that tiger bit that motherfucker's stomach. You're like, I was there when that Chappelle freak. I was there. Because that's why we really go to the Tiger Show, right? You don't go.
Well, yeah. So that was pretty much it. He referenced Kramer. So Japrice, after seeing that clip with Kramer from Seinfeld, a show to me that a lot of people love. I never thought it was funny. I don't know. But what did you think about that, Japrice? And he wasn't really canceled. He just stopped working because he just wasn't funny. But what do you think about that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's pretty typical. You know, that word does not get you canceled, even no matter what, you know, ethnicity you are. You can say it, and it's free game. And was that called fair use? And you just can't. Better not say anything about LGBT community. Like, I guess nothing you say could compare or triumph like you making any remarks about that community. It's just like, I know with being a comedian, like, you just pretty much say whatever, and it could be made up, it could be like how you really feel. It's just supposed to be just, you know, funny. But I guess I don't know. I don't think it's fair. I think that Black people aren't all on the same page, which is why, like, stuff like that, like stuff like that, like Kramer, stuff like that happens, like Kramer does, like, you know, they don't get canceled because we're not all on the same page. Some people don't think that that's like, you know, like a bad thing. Like, they don't think that that word is like that big of a deal, and you know, so we're not really all on the same page. But the LGBT community is all on the same page, which is why they can all get together and cancel people and try to get their shows off of Netflix. So.
Well, he gave the LBGT props, and I do too, because I'm going to give them props here, because one thing that I will say about them is that they are a very cohesive unit. Mm-hmm. They move well as a unit. The LBGTQ plus community, they are like a well-oiled machine, and they are willing to put their money where their mouth is. For example, with the whole gay marriage thing with Obama was not originally for gay marriage until they cut that check. And that is where appropriate voting comes into play. Because when you can get a candidate in a position to cater to your needs, you got to put something behind them. You got to put something on it. You dig? And that's what they do. And I got to respect it. From a hustler's point of view, I have to respect their gangster when it comes to that. Hell, I low-key respect the gangsters from when you saying something out of pocket about them. You up out of here. I gotta respect it. You know, I may not always agree with it, but I have to respect it because I feel like we need to take a page out of that book. Mm-hmm. You wanna kill one of us unjust? Okay, well, let's drown this city of its resources. We're not gonna buy from here. We're not gonna spend money there. We're not gonna do this. You dig what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about that. What do you think about the community as a whole, King G, about the LGBTQ plus and how they move?
Well, it's like you said, now they are most definitely cohesive, because now anytime there's something that affects one of them, it affects all of them, and that's just the truth of the matter.
Well, that's not necessarily true, and I have receipts for that as well.
Oh, really?
Yes. Dave Chappelle, he also talked about it in his stand-up special. He talked about, and I don't want to spoil it for you,
Go ahead.
But he talked about how he had a friend who had opened up for him, and was a transgender person. And to make a long story short, the transgender person defended Dave Chappelle on Twitter. Oh. And she got dragged by the community and ended up killing herself. So
Wow.
that's not always the case. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with a man by the name of Ed Buck. Okay, I'm gonna make you familiar with that. So right now we have an organization that just popped out of nowhere called the Black National Justice Coalition. I've never heard of these people until today. Yep, you're right, Nurse Viv, the blind lady who killed herself. Yeah, she was getting dragged by her own community. You turn on them, you out of here. You out of here. But the Black and let me say the name right. Let me say the name right so I can make sure that I don't misquote. The Black National Coalition Justice something. Anyway, they came out of nowhere today and they said they demand Netflix take Dave Chappelle off the air. Ed Buck is like a Democratic. He's like one of these Democratic shields. He will fund a lot of the Democratic agendas and everything like that. But he's a homosexual man. And I'm going to say allegedly for the purpose. And what happened to him, Ed Buck was found guilty. This is public record of killing 2 black homosexual black men, drugging them, 2 of them on different occasions. And you heard nothing from that community about this. It was straight men taking up for these brothers. The first person I heard talk about it was Tariq Nasheed taking up for these brothers and holding them accountable, holding Ed Buck accountable for what he did to our black homosexual brothers. You dig what I'm saying? And it was nobody who said anything. Now he was found guilty, I think, in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. But see, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to certain situations like that. So, here's my thing and I don't mean to interrupt me at any time, y'all. But here's my thing with with black gay people in particular, right? There have been situations to where they put their sexuality over their race. And with that being said, they use that sometimes to compare their struggle to the black struggle. How do you feel about that? How do y'all feel about that when that community uses their struggle to compare to the black struggle? And y'all feel free to watch what y'all say, because I mean, and to think about it, because I understand what kind of climate we in. That's why I'm choosing my words very carefully. So
until there is irrefutable genetic evidence that a person is born predisposed toward these kind of lifestyles, we cannot compare it. We can't compare it to this struggle, because you don't have any control over what's your skin tone when you're born. That's given to you. You don't have any control over that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when you look at it, you're looking at 2 things that are in very different spheres. Because the majority of the time when you talk to these individuals, this is a choice that they make. This is a lifestyle that they choose. You can't choose to be black. You can't choose that. You can't. There are individuals who have tried, right? Who is this lady that pretended to be a black woman for the longest, and then they found out that she really wasn't? So you can try to choose, you know, and it'll be something that'll be extremely difficult to do. You can try to choose that, but at birth, this is what you're given. Mm-hmm. So until somebody shows me genetic proof that when you were born, this is what you're predisposed toward, then I don't think there's a comparison whatsoever. That's my opinion now.
What do you think about that? The gay struggle compared to the black struggle, and when that's used as a defense mechanism.
Yeah, just like King G said, like that your like sexuality is like is a choice, you know. You can't choose, you know, your ethnicity and your race when you're born. Um I don't like the comparison. I don't like when they put those two together because that sexuality part, like that, I believe it's like it's has to do with like a mental illness, because like more like 90% of them have, like, of homosexuals have experienced some type of like um childhood abuse, sexual abuse, which, you know, kind of triggers that confusion on who they should be with. So I feel like that shouldn't be compared, and I don't know why they do. I guess it's because of they're saying that, you know, when you're black you're being discriminated against, and for being gay you're being discriminated against. But you don't go up to a job and be like, hey, I'm gay. You don't put that on a paper. Your job doesn't ask you what your sexuality is, they ask you what your race is. So that should be the thing that they're focusing on, if that's, you know, a problem for them. And I just don't like when they say, well, I'm a gay black man, or I'm a gay black woman, you know, I'm a gay black woman, or whatever the case may be. It's just, no one asks for that. We don't need to know what you do in the bedroom. We don't need to know who you kissing on or who you licking on.
And that goes for straight people too. I mean, yeah, I mean, we don't need
But
to know.
we don't go around and say, hey, I'm straight. We don't go around just because that's like the normal. That's like, we don't go around saying, well, I'm a straight black one. Like, no one says that.
Right. No, I feel you on that part. I do. I definitely understand. Dave Chappelle made a joke, and I'm glad you're here because I can ask a woman's point of view. He made the joke when he was talking about Caitlyn Jenner and how Caitlyn Jenner was Woman of the Year. Now, for those of you who may not know, Caitlyn Jenner was once a man named Bruce Jenner, a former Olympian, if I'm not mistaken, cover of the Wheaties box, got with Kris Jenner, who was Kim Kardashian's mama, aka the what's the madam. And you know, that story played out how it went. Anyway, Dave Chappelle says that, wouldn't that, and I'm paraphrasing, right? This is not a direct quote, but he says that, well, isn't it kind of insulting to be, for women to see that he's woman, or whatever he wants to be referred to now as Woman of the Year, and this person has never even had a period or a menstrual cycle and stuff like that, never has experienced any physiological things that a woman goes through to be considered a woman. Japrice, is that offensive to you, or do you just not care?
I don't. Okay, so in the beginning, I was like confused, like, what, why, like that is kind of like a slap in the face. Like, he's not even a woman. How can be? And then at this point, I'm like, I don't care, because nowadays, you know, these terms, woman and man and female and male, are almost like, you know, boxes of cereal. You could just go pick one up from the grocery store. You know, give me 1 second.
No, you're fine. You're fine. What's up, Nurse Viv? What's up, Stanley? Appreciate it, playa. Until Japrice comes back, King Gene, what do you think? What do you think about her, or Bruce, or Caitlyn, whatever, being called Woman of the Year? And this man, you know, has never been through the physical changes or any of the physical things that women go through.
Like I said, now I can't you know, speak for women, but just outside looking in, man, I think that would be, you know, something that would be offensive to women, because here you are, out of all of the billions of beautiful women in the world, and I'm gonna go here. I'm going. So if you got pearls on, clutch your pearls, hold your heart, whatever you got to do. Out of all of the billions of beautiful women in the world, you pick someone who does not have the XX chromosome. This is a dude. Regardless of what anybody wants to say, this is what he was born as. He was born as a man. This is a man. And I know that sounds kind of old-fashioned of me, but when you start to mix things that shouldn't be mixed, you come up with a confusion, and that's what this is. Woman of the year? Are you serious? So when is he gonna have a baby? See that statement doesn't even make sense, does it? There's so many conflicting things in that statement. When is he going to have a child? How could he? He doesn't have the genitalia.
Well, the argument I've heard to rebuttal that is, well, all women, well, all natural born females can't reproduce and have children either. That's the argument that I've heard.
Okay, well, let me be more specific then.
Their body is designed to, though.
There you go, Japri. So we talking about fallopian tube, we talking about ovaries, we talking about a womb. If you ain't got
and they also have a menstrual cycle.
Yeah,
I'm not looking at you as a woman. I'm sorry.
Okay. What's up, Chris?
Hi, I'm so sorry I'm late. Thanks for having me.
Man, you ain't late. You was doing what you had to do. He was not late at all. So we're talking about the Dave Chappelle special. Did you catch it? All right.
No.
Are you familiar with any of Dave Chappelle's work?
Of course, yes.
Cool.
Wait, is this like a recent special? Like he just came out with a new one, or is this the Alphabet People special? I gotta clarify.
You guys have to watch it. You guys have to watch
it. It's a new one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll watch it for sure. But no, I haven't watched the new one.
Okay. So on this special, and I'm not gonna spoil it for you, he really goes in on the LGBTQ plus community. And they are upset. And I mean upset. Like they are some national black coalition of whatever that came along and tried to cancel them or demanded that they take the special off Netflix. And a transgender actor just came on and said they're quitting Netflix because Dave Chappelle's special was on there and blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, I would just highly recommend you watch it. But what do you think about the LGBTQ plus community and their ability to cancel somebody or attempt to cancel somebody when somebody says something out of pocket that they feel is out of pocket?
They're effective. I think out of all the groups, they've done it the most, and they're the most successful.
I agree.
I don't know how. I don't know if they went to school for this. If it's like a skill or a certification, I don't know. But they are the masters of canceling people. And what's so crazy is that it can be something simple. Like my sister told me a story yesterday about there's another YouTuber named Matt Walsh, and he's or Matt Welsh, one of those. And he's a conservative YouTuber. And he recently had a video about this transgender woman. So a man who's a woman, I don't understand it, but basically a man in a wig was at a fast food restaurant. And when he got to the window, the young man behind the window gave her back her card, and it was like, "Thank you, sir." And the man and the transgender got mad and was like, "How dare you? How dare you call me a sir? Do I look like a sir?" And called the manager in and tried to, create all this chaos, and then turn their camera around to show like the audience their face and basically asked, like, "Do I even look like a man?" And I guess my sister said that she did look like a man. She looked like a man in a wig. So it was a mistake that most people could have made. What is that, King Gene? No, the Adam's apple.
Adam's apple. Yeah. And the stubble. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No worries. But something like that, like if this was in an area, I don't know where it was, but let's say I was in Oregon, that person taking the order would have gotten fired. I promise you they would have gotten fired for an honest mistake like that. Luckily, the manager came in and backed up his worker. But here in Oregon, something like that, you will get fired. If you don't use someone's pronouns, they will figure out a way to get rid of you. They'll say that you're creating a hostile environment, whatever they have to do. So long story short, yes, I think that people are masters at canceling, and I do not like it. I'm not a big fan of their ability to censor people and control what people say and how they think. You know, you can sit here and be a man and tell people to call you a girl all you want, but the minute you try and tell me that I have to call you a girl as well, that's when we have a problem. I don't like that at all. I don't agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's real talk. Let me see. Is it a mistake if he's really a he? Ooh, y'all going in, boy. y'all going in. Okay.
Y'all done got Dennis started, man.
I know. I sent her the link. And I'm gonna post the link in a minute if anybody want to hop on. But yeah. Well, let me ask you the same question that I asked Caprice, Chris. Do you feel when Bruce Jenner, I don't know if you're aware, but Bruce Jenner was made Woman of the Year as Caitlyn Jenner or whatever. And is that offensive to you as a woman? Or do you not care?
When I popped in, I heard you say Woman of the Year, and I knew exactly what you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It is so offensive. It is so, well, okay, let me make that clear. It doesn't offend me because I don't think I'd win. Like, I wasn't up for the running of Woman of the Year.
Right.
But I can't imagine the women who were being considered to find out that this person who had only been a woman for a year? Like literally she had only been a woman for that year, I think. Maybe not even that long. Wins Woman of the Year when maybe these women have gone through so many obstacles to get to the point where they get to the point they're at. I think it's ridiculous. And I heard you say something about the argument about that they say even women who are born women can't have children. That's like saying that a car isn't a car because it's not running. You know, it's still a car. It's just, it doesn't work, you know, but it still has an engine. You know what I mean? Right. I just think it's ridiculous. I thought they need to create different categories for people who don't quite fit, if that makes sense. I don't understand why that is offensive to say transgender person of the year. I don't understand how that can be a problem. But yeah, I didn't agree with that.
CKQ, shout out to CKQ. He said that he was a woman for less than a year and won Woman of the Year. Yeah. And see, this is this thing about the whole canceling thing, because I'm a fan of balance. I like balance. Now, I can, if you are a person that gets offended, fine. And if you are a person that wants to come for somebody when they offend you, fine, whatever. But I believe you need to check the people in your own community when you're out of pocket as well. There does need to be a balance. And I also wanted to show you guys something. It's a very receipt heavy show today. Let me see. I don't know if you guys seen the footage. Hold on. Let me get it right. Let me see. I don't know if y'all seen this footage of the woman.
We spa. So you
don't.
So it's okay.
So this woman is in a spa with her daughter and with other women, and their daughters, and they are in the spa, and a transgender person comes in and exposes themselves. This person has genitals. So let's just play the clip.
I just want to be clear with you. It's okay. It's okay for a man to go into the women's section, show his penis around the other women, young little girls underage. Your spa, we spa, condone that. Is that what you're saying? Like I asked. It's so he could stay there. He could stay there. What sexual orientation? I see a dick. It lets me know he's a man. He's a man. He is a man. He is not no female. He is not a female. He is not a female. Hold on. He is not a female, sweetie. Okay, girls down there, other women who are highly offended for what they just saw, and you did nothing, absolutely nothing. In fact, you sided with him. So We Spa is an agreement with men that just say they are a woman and they can go down there with their penis and get into the women's section. Is that what you're saying? What really? What law? What law? So women can go into the men's with their breasts. Okay. Yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't come back either. Yeah, get your money back. You got a man with his penis talking about he's a woman. He ain't no woman. Yeah, give her money back. There's no such thing as transgender. He has a dick. Okay? He has a penis. His penis is hanging out. Okay, no, I'm not one. Actually, I'm a woman who knows how to stand up and speak up for my right. As a woman, I have a right to feel comfortable without a man exposing himself. Okay, no, you go somewhere else. Okay, so that's right. No, he's not a transgender. He has a penis, just like you do. Are you? No. Yeah. Okay, it's not okay. It's not okay. Okay, that's traumatizing to see that. I'm a woman. I think this is a place right here, I'm told, only for women. So how dare you sit up here and tell me I don't have a right as a woman to defend? I'm telling you, he has a penis, a full and testicles, okay? And I don't care what it's a man. You got one? You're a man.
You got one.
Okay.
And if we went into the men's section with our anatomy, that would be...
Well, it would probably, but you might not like women, so it might not. Okay? And we don't know. But for me and for a lot of other women, they do not feel comfortable, and it's not okay. Okay, so
He said, "I'm sorry you saw a penis,
sweetie, and you're out of."
Okay, I'm gonna stop that for a second. He said, "I'm sorry you saw a penis." Okay, what's up, Danny?
Hi, how are you guys doing?
What's going on?
No, what's going on? Here?
Have you seen that clip?
I saw it just now.
Okay, so you haven't seen it before. Have any of you all seen that clip before? Yeah. So I feel that behavior needs to be checked in their community. And I feel like just how people like to hold people like to hold other people in different communities accountable for other people's actions. I feel like those same people need to be held accountable. I feel like if I was gay and if I was trans or anything like that, and I'm going into a place where I know that I haven't had my procedure done and I could possibly offend somebody, there still has to be a balance. You dig what I'm saying? Like, I would not want, first of all, if I was in anywhere and I had my little son with me, I wouldn't want him to see no naked woman at 5 years old. You dig what I'm saying? So I can only imagine how a woman would feel walking in a spa where it's supposed to be all women with women parts in there as women, embracing each other as women. You know what I'm saying?
I couldn't imagine that happening. I'm Muslim. I cover myself.
Right.
I couldn't imagine no man with no penis walking in talking about you a female. I would sue that place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I would hope that they don't put religion beneath somebody's personal choice, because that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have a question. Can I ask a question really fast?
Yeah, go ahead.
Isn't it like, can't men be put on, or anybody, but especially men, be put on like a sex offenders list if they expose themselves in public?
Yeah. If you pee in public, you're put on a sex offenders list. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
No, I don't think she should have addressed it in a different way. Her daughter was there that's 5 years old.
And they lucky.
I think that she was as calm as she could have, because I probably would have been swinging on that man. They would have had to come and get me, because I probably would have went Lorena Bobbitt on that man.
Cutting. I carry a knife.
Since you don't want to have it, let me help you get rid of it, since you're trying to show it to my daughter.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
And then you all, just to add a little bit of background to it, I just pulled up their website.
Mm-hmm.
They have a floor for men and they have a floor for women.
No.
So if you wanted to, if you would consider it, of who you might affect, then you would pick the floor accordingly. So evidently this person didn't really care. And it's like Dennis said, now, you what you're doing now, you traumatizing people, especially little ones. You traumatizing them because they're not ready for what you just exposed them to. And like you said, Danny, there is sufficient grounds to sue these folks. It's sufficient ground because now they have actually done you mental harm. You and your daughter. Because did you hear the lady? She was hysterical. You see what I mean?
I remember when they first started passing these laws, they were saying that for the bathrooms, how could you tell if it's a man or a female if in the bathroom y'all separate because you got separate stalls? But in this case, no, and that's why they need their own bathroom.
I've been to Wee Spa.
They need their own everything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You've been to Wee Spa? Where is Wee Spa?
So I live in Los Angeles, California. So there's a Wee Spa downtown. So I've been to Wee Spa. So when you check in, there's two sides. There's obviously a men's locker area and there's a women's locker area, and it's pretty open. And you see, women of all ages, shapes, sizes, and then they're even the women amongst themselves are pretty like cautious of like showing themselves, but you do catch like maybe a woman's breast or like, but we're all women and we are pretty much careful, and there's children there. It's pretty much like a family spa. This is like literally a family spa. And I can only imagine, because as soon as you walk it, like I can only imagine this person had to literally be walking around exposing himself, because there is there is a bathroom in the middle in between. There's two bathrooms in between, because I'm quite sure all Wee Spas are the same because it is like one company. He could have went in that bathroom. They do have a what do you call it? Is it called a gender neutral bathroom, where it's just called like a restroom. You can go in there, and he could have went in there and changed. And I'm trying to figure out, was he why would the guy was saying, is he a transgender? I believe only as trans. So in order for you to be considered transgender, all you gotta do is put a wig on or what? Because I thought transgender was when you went through the whole transformation and you had your stuff tucked or you got it pulled out or whatever. Whatever. I'm just trying to figure that out, because I see a lot of people being called transgender, but all they have on is a wig, and I still see the Adam's apple, and I still see that big old chiseled back. Like, how like that? I can only imagine, because I'm picturing myself in Wee Spa and just walking like, oh my God, I would be petrified too. I'll be so upset. And then I'll also be kind of petty too, because you really sitting here telling me that you're a woman, you have this sausage hanging out, and really? Like, that is so ridiculous. That is really sad. And I don't think I'm going back to Wee Spa. They might have lost a customer, because that is not okay.
This is the first time you heard of it?
This is the first time, yeah. I don't know. It seems like this is pretty recent, because they're like the renovation, like everything. I don't think it looked like it's even the one out here. I'm not for sure. Do you know like where their location is? But
I don't know.
I don't. In those situations, how do you even redirect that? Like, how do you go by that in a different way other than like acting like crazy? Like, are you serious? And especially the people aren't doing anything about it. I probably would have I don't know. I'm not gonna say what I would have done, but with me actually been to Wee Spa multiple times. Actually went there when I was pregnant. It's a family spa, literally. And there's a place where you're the husband and the wife can meet up, and the children, they can all meet up. That was just ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, it would have been an issue if my chick would have called me and told me some man was in the locker room with my daughter exposing himself. It would have been a serious problem. But CKQ was cracking.
What's going on?
Have you have you seen a Dave Chappelle special?
No, I heard about it from my buddy.
Okay.
So I was actually planning on watching it tonight.
Okay.
I'm about to watch it now too.
CJ.
Yeah. I definitely want to watch it just because I heard like all the controversy coming from it, and it's like that's such a beautiful thing, you know? And
CKQ.
Yeah. What's up?
Let me jump out on you for just 1 second, man. I got to say this because if I don't say this, you know, it's gonna burn a hole in me.
Yeah, go for it.
With all of the fresh haircuts that's on the panel right now, I'm very jealous.
Listen, you got a fresh haircut too. I see it.
Man, listen, no, I'm talking about the hair on top of your head, brother. I ain't talking about the mustache.
Oh, okay. You said hair. So you gotta specify, right? It was a
you and CJ, both of y'all, when it went somewhere and somebody didn't hook y'all up, man. I'm gonna get some spray things sprayed on mine too.
Well, all right, that's why I have been.
Hey, listen. Hey, I've been looking into the hair restoration surgery. Let me tell you something. A player finna go get this travel bag real quick and restore it all. You dig what I'm saying? So, but yeah, shout out to my barber Jay Cuts, man. He the truth, best barber in Detroit. So I appreciate that. But CKQ, what do you think about the situation that that just took place?
I like the fact that honestly, that whole community, it baffles me that they play the bully and the victim at the same time all the time. Like they literally just went from trying to cancel the baby, and now they're like, oh my God, I'm a victim because Dave Chappelle made a comedy thing about me. Like, what did he do to stop any of your livelihoods?
Mm-hmm.
One person said something, you literally tried to stop his way of making money. But now someone said something about you, and what, you're hurt about it? Like it hurts your feeling? I don't know. It's just too feelings based, backed by law. And, I was actually just thinking about it today. It makes sense that all of like the gay, transgenders, and all that stuff would be in power positions now, a lot of the media, because a lot of times in high school, those were like the art kids, like the kids in like the theater or drama or anything like that. And now that they're in the real world, they actually have like
power.
Yeah, like actual power.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's scary because you have a bunch of emotional adults. Like
I said, I respect the hustle and I get it. I respect the unity. But I ask for balance. You know what I'm saying? And when it becomes unbalanced, that's when things start to get dangerous, very dangerous. But I meant to ask you, Danielle, I don't know if you were familiar with Bruce Jenner becoming Woman of the Year. I don't know if you remember when that happened.
You saw my comment down there.
I don't know, but I wanted to get your comment on the air.
I thought that it was laughable. It is a non-factor to me because these white men can do what they want. Like, I was more upset with the men being able to compete with women in sport. In high school and in college, and literally taking away the accolades of these women. That's more annoying and bothers me more than somebody getting an award. That award is nothing. But for you to take a collegiate spot and scholarship money and a title from a woman because you're too weak to do it from a man, that's what I have a problem with.
I got a question, and it may be it may be controversial, but I'm gonna ask it because I got women on the panel, and I need some of y'all opinions and y'all thoughts. Do you think women brought this on themselves? And hear me out, because when I see things in social media, when I see these protests, I see a lot of women going hard for these people, and that's their right. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But I see a lot of them going so hard to the point that where it almost feels like they're being replaced. And so my question is, did a lot of these females bring that on themselves? Because if you say anything bad about a person that's gay, a woman will be the first one, typically, to jump down your throat. But I've also seen that if you say something bad to the chick, the first thing she'll do is call you gay. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at Kevin Samuels. And he brought that up actually in his interview with Vlad TV. He's like, well, where's the LGBTQ plus community when they call him gay as an insult? but you rock with us so much. But so let me ask the ladies, Chris, do you feel like women, some like, and from a general standpoint, obviously, because of course it's not every woman, but do you feel like it's been brought on by them? Are they replacing themselves?
Feminists, modern women, yeah. I think traditional women saw this coming. They were like, no, you're not a woman. You're not a woman. And then a lot of men actually saw it too. And there's actually conversations in the feminist community where they were talking amongst themselves, and they were talking about the LGBT community. And they were saying, do you realize that a lot of your rights that you fought for as feminists are being taken away, and you're fighting alongside, like you're fighting for your rights to be taken away alongside with the LGBT community. For example, what Danielle was talking about as far as getting into these competitions, being able to be to play, to have the women's sports teams and all of that. Like, you're now being replaced, because if what happened is they created a space for men to dominate women in a woman's space, which is what feminists have been fighting against for so many years. And they were completely okay with it. And then someone brought this up, like, do you guys realize what's going on? And then all of a sudden they were like, oh, wait. So they're just now realizing that they set themselves up, and they're talking about it. So yes, I 100% think that for a long time they were with it, because in their head they're like, oh, more women the better. But they didn't realize what was happening. They didn't realize that this is going to keep growing. And now that it's hit the fan and it's kind of out of their hands, they're trying to reverse the effects, and they can't go back. So yeah, I think you're spot on. They're having these conversations right now.
And now it's to the point to where the surgery is getting so crazy, you can't tell. Like, it's starting to get to the point to where it's becoming more difficult to tell. Like, they even got surgeries to trim the jawline down.
They shave it down.
And to trim the Adam's apple. So like, you really cannot tell. So same question for Japrice. Do you feel like women are partly responsible for this new phenomenon that we have, and transgender women participating in women's sports and all that? Do you feel like, what do you think about that?
I do believe that there are a lot of women that are just team LGBT, transgender, and I do believe that they do play a huge part in it. I say that because a lot of women get their fashion sense, their hairstyles, all this stuff from them. The new modern woman is basically just like a homosexual transgender. They look alike. Their bodies are the same. Their hairstyles are the same. They wear their whole full face of makeup. The wigs. They're literally the same. They act just like a man in a dress. So they see themselves as, their sister or whatever, or however you want to make the comparison, until it start really, 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 truly affecting the dating pool. It starts affecting, the competition as far as like Christina said, the sports. So like now, even I've heard some guys even say, I wouldn't mind dating a transgender. I mean, because they look the same as how these new modern women look. If you think about it, they're doing their hair. A lot of women have these kind of best friends, and they're just clicked up together. And I do believe that women did play a huge part in this new movement of homosexuality, and it's just the fact that they're okay with these people acting this way. It's like as if this is not how, like, do you think that this is how I walk? Do you think this is how I talk? Like, this is not like I don't know. I do absolutely agree with Christina, and I do agree that women do play a part. I won't say there's the blame, but they do play a big part in the acceptance of what's happening now.
Danielle, same question.
It's so sad. No, for real. It's not even funny. It's so sad when you think about all the ways that these women are being replaced.
It's a fact.
I think it's sad that they be out there marching and protesting and validating these men. I mean, y'all see them dang on protests. Y'all, you don't have to ask me if we helped.
Oh, I definitely got to ask because I need to know. I need to know what you think.
We seen the protest together. But you know what? That don't matter that we seen them women in them audiences because maybe they wasn't women.
Okay.
Maybe we just think they women.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's a heavy thing. And it's almost because now they're talking about womb transplants.
I was talking about that. Oh
Ridiculous.
I was talking about that.
No comment.
It's crazy. I'm kind of interested in how.
And when I heard about that, I was like, OMG, because okay, so with my sons, I was like, when y'all date, they gonna think I'm crazy because I'm gonna have to have y'all friends bring their birth certificate to show me that they are women. However, New York passed a law that they can take that off of their birth certificate. And now they're trying to make it a law that you are not, and now they're trying to make it that no one is even, their sex is not even put on there because they're saying that you're assigned a sex at birth. We're assigned female or we're assigned male. And so now they're trying to make it so that's not even on the birth certificate. And so then I took it a step further. I said, well, the one thing that they cannot change is their chromosome. And so I was like, I have to go to school a little bit more to figure out how to do at-home DNA tests. So that I gotta poke your finger like a blood sugar test, and I gotta see XY on there because if it's not XY, my son can't date you.
Yeah.
It's XX or XY. I thought XX was woman and XY was man.
Yeah. Look, I don't even know what it is no more. Okay, I'm a whole nurse and I don't know what it is no more.
We should be able to forget those things. It shouldn't matter. Like we should just be able to cut and dry. But now we have to learn about this again to make sure we know who's who.
Yes. That's what it is supposed to be XX. If it's XY, you cannot date my son because you are a man. Regardless of what you look like.
Well, before I get on to the guys, I have some receipts. I would like to present a couple of receipts to you all. As far as the whole womb transplant thing is concerned.
Trans women could be.
Let me make sure I get it right.
Oh boy, let's get it. Excited.
And YouTube, we're not offending. Let me just make sure, because I know y'all be checking the algorithm. We're just seeking knowledge and information. We are trying to understand.
And
so,
educate.
Yes, we are trying to educate ourselves, YouTube. So just chill, relax. You dig? Nobody has said anything disparaging, nothing offensive. So don't do me like y'all did me last time.
Having babies soon.
Let me see.
Trans women could be having babies soon. One of the world's leading fertility specialists has said that it's now entirely possible for transgendered women to get pregnant thanks to developments in science. Doctors have successfully transplanted wombs in uterine infertile women in recent years, and at least 5 babies have been born to these transplant recipients since 2014. Experts now believe the same procedure can be conducted on transgendered women who were born male but have undergone sex reassignment surgery. Carrying a live fetus in the transplanted wombs will likely be more complicated, and expectant transgendered women may need hormones to replicate the natural pregnancy changes that occur in women. The male pelvis is also shaped differently than a female's, which means the baby would have to be born via cesarean section. Of course, not everyone is on board with the idea. Some have voiced ethical concerns since a pregnancy of this nature poses a huge risk to both mother and child. Progress.
Transgender man gives birth to baby. A transgender.
All right, well, we're not gonna show that. But yeah, how do I get rid of this? Oh, here we go. Okay. Playing God. Is that playing God?
Gay.
Chris, I'm gonna start with you.
You might want to come back to me.
Uh-oh. Did we almost get a cuss word? Uh-oh. I felt it.
Possibly today might be the day. I don't know.
It might be a good day.
But can you come back to me?
Yeah, I'll come back. Let's go to the fellas. CKQ. Seeing that. What do you think about that, sir?
That was a beautiful thing. It was a lovely moment. Brought a tear to my eye. On that note, I gotta say, I actually 2 days ago, okay, a little side story. 2 days ago, I was going to grab some ramen, and I saw this woman with a man, and she kept glancing over at me, and I was just like, "Yo, she really just checking me out, like while her guy's right there." I was like, "Nah, probably tripping," but she kept looking, kept staring. I'm just like, "The hell? All right, maybe I try to listen in and see what they're talking about." Bro, that was a whole man. Like, this was attractive, boobs, long hair, dressed very well. Like, I mean, I was just like, wow, freaking guy was pretty, all right? And
that's real talk. So you can't deal with some of them. That's real.
It was actually like, it was a little shocking. It was very shocking. Not even a little. It was very shocking.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're doing the most. Like, you're really doing the most to try to have a child now. For such a small percentage of the population. Like the transgender is not really that. What is it, like 3% of the population or something like that? Like, that's not a drastic number. So I don't understand how we're throwing these laws and doing all this stuff to try to accommodate 3% of the population. Like, we're pushing modern science so much further to make it so that a man can now look like a woman and do everything a woman can, as opposed to, I don't know, cure cancer, or why are we pushing so hard for this for 3% of the population versus this that can help the other 97? It doesn't make sense to me.
And that's the magic question right there.
So a black woman did come up with something to cure cancer, actually.
Yeah?
I heard about that. Yeah.
She used light and sound, and they told her to go back and add a medicine to it. And then she did that too. I shared it on my Facebook a while ago. I'll go and check and see if I can find it. But no, they have found it.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Yeah, send it to me if you have a chance, honestly.
But they're not gonna talk about that because that don't make money.
And YouTube, we're just talking about education, because you got to be sensitive with YouTube. We're not giving any medical information because I know y'all cracking down on that. So, Japrice, how you feel about what you just saw? Hello?
Can you hear me?
She's speechless.
Oh, you're speechless.
I thought she was over there crying. Oh my
God. I'm like, can you hear me well?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, it's just that, I don't know, it's just draining because it's like, that's supposed to be like exclusive, that's like, what one of our purposes, that, from God, and they're playing God with that, and it's just not right. And it's just for someone who's had a child, and is expecting, it's not right. It's just like, are you going to go through the whole nausea and throwing up? I'm getting up, throwing up every morning. It's just like, it's just not fair. And then it's just like, I don't know. It's just taking away the, like, that exclusiveness that we have, and that gender roles that we have that are like biological. That's just nonsense. It's complete nonsense. And like that they're like playing God, and they're just, I mean, it's like, if you really want to have a baby, why don't you just have a baby by a woman? And I mean, I don't know, they can like adopt or something, like I feel
Yeah,
like
they can adopt now too. They can.
yeah, they're exactly there. I believe that this whole thing is like a baby is an accessory. That's what I feel like, because it's because come on, like really, yeah. I don't know.
King Jizzle, what are your thoughts on the video? King Gene, let me hit you with a scenario.
Get him.
Oh my God, your
like
scenario.
Here we go. Go ahead, brother.
All right, King Gene. You know, you walking in the park one day, you know, you just strolling along and everything like that. And you meet somebody, real nice PYT, pretty young thing. You dig? And y'all get to rapping, and you know, the person says that, you know, we should go on a date sometime. You agree. And y'all hit it off. Y'all hit it off and everything like that. And in the middle of the date, the person tells you that, well, let me be real with you. I was born a male. How you gonna react to that?
Check, please. Listen, I'm very clear on what I require.
Can I throw can I throw a scenario at him? Is that okay?
Sure, go ahead. Didi in there cracking up.
Look, man, y'all ain't gonna double team me, CKQ. But go ahead, brother.
King, I got you. All right. You've been dating this chick for 5 years. You guys have moved in together. You guys got a house.
5 years.
This is the person that you see yourself built. Like this is the person. This is the one. Year 5. Now she says like, okay, I think I really need to tell you something. You guys go to the living room. You sit down.
Oh man.
He looks at you, starts tearing up. Like,
oh man.
Listen, I wasn't always born this way. Oh, don't worry, baby. Of course, you're the gentleman, right? You got your mustache, handsome guy. Don't worry, baby. I can accept you whatever way you are. You know, we can work through this. What is it? You could tell me. She starts really crying a little bit more. I was born a man.
Wait, you said 5 years?
5 years.
5 years, he said.
5 years.
I'm 5 years, y'all have had intercourse.
Well, yeah. I mean, the whole surgery was done.
I know this is gonna sound really bad, not to cut your scenario off, but
go for it.
And ladies, forgive me because I don't know how this.
Go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
But does it get wet like a normal? Does it become lubricant? Like I don't know. So like how? I don't know how that process works.
I don't know. She made up something. She said it's an illness. She doesn't get wet enough. They use lube, right? King G?
Oh,
you guys use lube,
God, bro.
So now that's a scenario. Go. Can you still now easily walk away? Ooh.
King G end up on first 48.
My brother, listen to me. Listen to me.
Let's hear it.
As a man, and you know, I'm a simple dude. No big deal. Mm-hmm. As a man, I require a woman. So if you tell me you are not a woman, you don't meet my requirements. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, we are over.
Yeah,
we done, brother.
That is someone you love.
And then I tell you another thing too. Another reason why I can't go down this road any longer, because anytime there's a relationship, it has to start off with the truth, or else it's not built on anything. So basically, what you're telling me is for the last 15 years, you have been living a facade.
Yep.
And the facade has been perpetrated against me because you didn't tell me the truth.
Mm-hmm. And the
so
sad part is that happens a lot. That's the crazy part. Like, I don't know if y'all remember the show Jenny Jones from back in the day.
Oh yeah.
One man ended up killing the transgender person because of that same scenario. I feel like if you are a part of that lifestyle, I feel like it is an obligation to tell somebody. You don't keep something like that from no straight man. You dig what I'm saying? Because this man is walking in thinking he's getting a woman.
Right.
You know, you are deceiving that man. You are taking that man's right to choose away. And you know, that's how a lot of them end up getting dealt with. And I think that man, that ain't cool, bro. I would be tripping, bro. I'd be like, she ain't never bought no tampons, nothing. Like, and I know it's certain situations to where, you know, the cycles can get, you know, you don't have cycles or anything like that. Like, I need to, like, OBGYN appointment, something. Can we go see Cliff Huxtable? What we doing? Like, I don't know, bro. What we doing? You dig? Like, something. And that's crazy because
nobody got time for that.
Exactly. We don't, because now we like it's really finna get, you're gonna have to do a whole biological background check before you get in a relationship with a person.
Right.
I mean, Danielle's ready to do a whole science project.
Right.
Listen, I really want to learn. I have to figure it out.
You know, take her to prom, like
to even call my house.
To call the house. That's fair. That's fair.
That's wild.
You're not about to get my baby's emotions caught up in this bull.
That's fair. That's fair.
But you y'all see the confusion that results from it.
Yeah.
If your ideal is to destroy all of the standards that exist in society, this is what you get. What you get, man. I was born a man, but hey, today I feel like I'm gonna be a woman, so I'm gonna identify as a woman, and I'm gonna walk in this spa with my male genitalia swinging in the air, and I'm just going, hey, whatever happened, happened. See the foolishness? Now, okay, YouTube, listen, we not disparaging anybody. I'm just speaking from
from the heart.
The ideas expressed do not reflect the ideas of the channel. Disclaimer, okay? But I'm just saying, it's just, if you don't have any guidelines, you don't have any limits, you don't have any rules as to how you're supposed to proceed, then everything is confusing. Everything is. So
I got to get back to Chris real quick because she said, can you come back? And I'm coming back. What did you think about the video you saw?
This is, well, first of all, okay.
A lot happened.
Yeah, my head is just like, like, okay, so my nephew has type 1 diabetes. He got diagnosed when he was like 4 years old. And this, like many children get diagnosed when they're really young with diabetes, with type 1 diabetes. And there's no cure for type 1. So they're telling me that they spent time experimenting on how to get a woman's uterus into a man's body for 3% of people, but they can't figure out how to cure type 1 diabetes that affects 4-year-olds. Are you kidding me? It took them years to cure hepatitis. But you're telling me you figured this was a priority? This was the priority? Oh my goodness. I wish I saw the funding for this, because I would have committed fraud. I would have found a way to completely dump all the funding going towards this experiment somehow. Like, I'd be in prison right now if I saw this going on. This is ridiculous, in my opinion. It's absolutely ridiculous. And this
Chris,
is what happens.
You got Dee Dee cracking up. She in the background cracking up.
It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. Like, this is what happens when you want everything to be equal. You want everything, like you want that so desperately, but what do we gain from this? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely, you're just jumping around uteri from woman to man. Like, what is that going to come to? I feel like this is like, yes, it's definitely playing God. I feel like this is probably the quickest way to going extinct. You know, like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. That was probably a huge spiral, but.
My question is, though, whose womb are they going to experiment with?
They take their women's womb.
Yeah. You know how much this costs to experiment on? Like, the body alone, I believe, costs a lot. And to do this experiment,
They couldn't even do this for those women who can't have children by
That's
wherever
what it started
medical
with.
reason.
That's what
It
it
started
started
with
with.
that.
And then they just moved it over to men.
But now, have y'all ever thought about? I know, especially in Tennessee, north of where I am, there have been a rash of kidnappings of women, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those women don't ever show back up again.
Talk about it.
Now, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to paint some kind of conspiracy theory, but if there are a number of men that want to be able to have a womb, and then there are women that are coming up missing, I don't think that's too much of a jump.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Well, that's a. Well, you about to say something, CKQ?
That's a little crazy, actually. That's actually going on. I had no idea that was actually going on. But
yeah,
It's big in New York too.
Yeah.
New York is really bad.
Really?
But these are women, they don't need no man, they don't need any protection, but they're getting wiped off these streets because you can't defend yourself. You know, it only takes one man to pull an average woman off the street, and then no one can find you ever again.
Like that Gabby Papetto girl, whatever the case her name is.
I think the most detrimental of all this is the fact that they're pushing this ideology into the kids' minds that are in schools. So screw the adults that are already making the adults made their decisions. That's it. As adults, we're already done. We can't really change anything. But the kids that are the future, and if you're pushing this ideology into their heads, like men need to be dumbed down, the women need to be powerful, and above all of them is the transgender and gays, and where's that leading? It's too much of
Extinction is leading to extinction.
It doesn't make sense.
Are you guys familiar with the abortion bans that are taking place in Texas?
Right. They was talking about that. They was thinking about trying to appeal it because the places around Texas are like too busy because people are just leaving Texas and still getting it done.
Do you know who are the number one consumers of abortions in Texas?
Black women?
No. It's white women. It's white women. They are the number one consumers of abortion. And maybe putting my conspiracy theory hat on. I don't know. But I'm going to put it on for a minute. Put on a tinfoil kufi. Why not? Shout out to Tariq Nasheed. But white numbers are dwindling. White numbers are dwindling. And now it's a big push for abortions to become illegal, making it a felony if found out in certain places. Along with this whole feminization agenda pushed very heavily against black men and black communities. Now, maybe I'm reaching. Let me know if I am. I could be reaching. But is this whole thing a push for population control?
I've heard this before, that white people are scared because they are going to be the minority soon.
By 2049.
And that they don't want to lose power. No, I've heard this multiple times.
Are our numbers pretty low too?
I've heard the same thing as far as black people too. We aren't really reproducing.
Well, I'm talking on the planet. White people are the minority. On the planet, on a global scale, they're the minority. And which the term minority doesn't even make sense now when you even think about it. When it comes to people of color, that makes that's pretty asinine when you really think about it.
I got a question though, because I get what you're saying, but I want to say the younger generation coming into power, where a lot more of us are more accepting of different cultures, different races, right? And I think that spans across the world. Some places are still, a little bit more than bigger cities, but I don't know. Like, do you think it's white people afraid to lose their power? Or it's something. I don't think it's as simple as white being afraid to lose their power. You know what I'm saying?
I think when you have a people who are used to being supreme for so long, and maybe people have different thoughts on this, but in my opinion, I think when you have a people that are used to being in a dominant position for so long, power is a son of a gun, and to lose that power, or to see it potentially be lost, that's crazy. I mean, even if we go back to the Black Wall Street days, the Tulsa bombings and everything like that, that was just one town. We are the only country, from what I know, to bomb itself. And nobody really talks about that. So I'm thinking, like, well, what was it that we felt like we needed to bomb ourselves? A little town, Tulsa, Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching. I could be reaching. So
you do know.
You know. So
well, CJ, let me throw my head in with you, brother.
Go ahead, sir.
Let me throw my head in with you, because y'all know I'm heavy. I'm heavy on the sciences. Now that's me. Now we talking. So now, if we were to believe what we're told, right? Our oldest common ancestor was found in Africa, and so that's where all of the ethnicities, the groups come from, right?
Yes, sir.
But then also we have to factor in that the belief that's prevalent is the survival of the fittest, right? So somebody on the panel answer a question for me. Is the Caucasian skin tone recessive or is it dominant?
Recessive.
Recessive.
So therein lies the fear. Therein lies the fear. Recessive genes over time are worked out. They're pushed out, I should say, over time, because dominant genes continue to manifest in every generation. They keep coming back. They keep coming back. And so if you're looking at individuals who don't have enough dominant genes in their ethnic group, then what's going to happen? Now, this isn't me being condescending. This is me. I'm just stating genetic fact. This is according to what the prevalent view is.
Yeah,
that's all it is. So if it's not a dominant gene, it's not reoccurring, it's replaced, it's bred out, then all of a sudden you don't see it anymore. It happens all the time in animals. They bred those genes out, the weak genes. Because now think about it, and it reminds me, and I know this is gonna be kind of crazy, but it reminds me of the movie. Y'all ever seen 300?
Yes.
What did they do with the children that had deformities?
They killed them.
No, they threw them away. They left them wild.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Yeah. Where did they throw them at though? That's what I know it's kind of graphic, but walk me through it.
Didn't they throw them down the well, I think, or some hole or something like that?
It was a pit, right?
Or pit, something like that, I think.
It was a pit.
Yeah.
Threw them off the cliff into a pit. That's how they felt about it. Any deformity, if your nose was crooked, you got to go. You got to get out of here. We can't do that.
You're not messing up our gene pool.
So I think that's what's going on, man. I think that's what the fear is. I don't know. I'm like you. I'm putting that conspiracy theory hat on. I'm gonna run with it a little bit, but I'm done now.
And to build on what you said, though, King Gene, if anybody want to jump in, go ahead. Look at when you talk. Oh, go ahead. What you about to say, Japrice?
I kind of wanted to on what you said about white women being the majority of women that get the abortions.
In Texas.
I kind of want to challenge you on that, because I have an aunt that worked at Planned Parenthood, and I remember her giving me some numbers and giving me some statistics. In 2016, she lived in New York, and the abortion rate for Black women was like 5 times more than white women. And also in 2016, I'm probably not quoting this right, but
I'm not for sure if this is in this entire year, but it may be or from 2016. That Black women got 23,200 and something abortions, and white women got 19,000. So it's probably neck and neck. But I wouldn't say. I will only say that I don't believe that because the Black community has been, we've been got what, over 65 million abortions since the 70s. And the only reason why I say that is because it was more, those clinics are more in our community, which is the reason why. But I wouldn't say that. I believe that white women are the ones that get more abortions than any other race.
You're right, Pri. It is true that Black women get the most. He was saying in Texas, I believe. In Texas, white women get the most.
I'm sorry.
In the U.S., yes, it's Black women are the highest, I think, amongst all of the demographics.
And I'm definitely open to the possibility of being wrong. No, you good. No, I'm definitely. I mean, if I'm wrong, definitely let me know. But like I said, I mean, and I think too, and like I said, maybe it could be a conspiracy theory hat. It's more like I think it's more popularized, if that makes sense, amongst in our community. But you are right, though. You don't really see, and I live in the suburbs, and I don't see a lot of Planned Parenthoods out here. The closest one I've seen to anybody that's in Michigan is probably in Warren, but Warren is it's like the hood now, pretty much. But yeah, no, that's what's up. But I wanted to build on Prince Harry. I mean, what King Gene said, but what about the recessive gene? And I think that's why it was such a big deal when Meghan Markle got engaged to Prince Harry and they had a baby, not one, but two. And he lost all his royal rights. And people thought that they were going to get some sort of fairy tale. No. You bringing in that black blood until
that's not why he lost his rights.
That's why I think that's why.
But it's not. But it's not.
Why?
Okay, so
what's the scoop, Danielle?
When you are a royal, you have to marry a royal to keep your title. If you don't marry a royal, that person can't ascend to be a royal. You have to be of royal blood to be called a princess. So that's why. And then he lost all his money and all his stuff like that because they left the palace. Like on Coming to America, I renounce my throne. He renounced his throne and left with that black woman because he didn't want to let his woman leave. And the same thing happened to his mother, happened to his wife. I'm sure that man is traumatized.
Wait,
once you leave the palace, the woman, I'm going with my wife. And once you leave that and you leave the title, you leave all the things that go with the title because they don't actually have nothing. All that stuff belongs to the crown.
I believe, and that's fine if that's the rules, but they make the rules, right? When you make the rules, you run it according to how you see fit. Now, okay, that's fine. They can go by tradition if that is the case. But in my personal opinion, I believe they didn't want that blood tainted, that bloodline tainted, because it is tainted. That woman has a drop of she's half black, and little Archie could produce a kid one day that looks like Flavor Flav. You never know, but he will be entitled to it could happen.
You be saying the wildest things, bro.
Their children don't even look like they have they don't even look like they have 25%. They don't even look like they have 25%.
Facts.
Like, to be honest,
and those kids that the black is the recessive because they're like 75% white.
Well, I mean, I have an aunt though. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. That's what's so unique about us because I have an aunt. Her name is Aunt Ada. Shout out to Aunt Ada. Aunt Ada looks like a white woman, and both her parents are like dark,
black.
And it can go either way. So I couldn't imagine. I could definitely see the fear of somebody that looks my complexion running around Buckingham Palace. Like, player, where's the fried chicken?
There you go.
You did?
You know what? I gotta push back on that a little bit. I gotta push back on that, CJ. Right? I gotta push back against.
Go ahead. I'm ready.
I think we have to get out of this thought process of we don't belong in places.
Well, they treated her like she don't belong, and she said that.
Right? Yeah, they said it.
I mean, Michelle Obama. Have you ever read Michelle Obama's book? she said the same thing. But they belong there. Like, even though people are going to treat us like we don't belong, we have to make it a norm that we belong in those spaces.
Yeah, but they literally told her you don't belong here.
Oh, okay.
Like they told her that. She did a whole interview talking about, oh, what color is the baby's gonna be? You don't belong here. I mean, that's one thing, you know what I'm saying? And then my thing is that
Is that why he left?
Yeah, because she was uncomfortable and she didn't want to be there.
Did she divorce him? Did she divorce him?
No. He left with her.
And he didn't want.
He divorced his family.
Right. And he didn't want them to have the same fate as his mother because it was a rumor that Princess Diana was pregnant by a Moroccan man.
It's way too much color. Way too much color.
By a Moroccan man. And, allegedly, YouTube and the royal family. It was a rumor that because when she was chased down, she wasn't the only one that died. It was a Moroccan man that died along with her, and they don't talk about that. But she was supposed to divorce. Was it Prince David? Is that his name? I don't know. Whoever she was. Prince Charles. She was supposed to.
They was already divorced.
Oh, already divorced, and she was about to leave. You know, and Queen Elizabeth was like, "No, not today. Not today. You won't." So I mean, I don't blame him for that. But does anybody want to else add to this? Because I was going to try to get back to Dave Chappelle because that was what the showrunner was about. But
it spun off a little bit. But Danielle got all the scoops, by the way. Shout out to you. You know
sound button. I don't have a sound button. I still gotta get
it. You gotta get one. I gotta be excited clapping.
Yeah, I still got the ghetto effects, but it's all good. It's definitely all good. Man, but you said something, CKQ, that made me want to go off into a whole different direction. And I want to add on that, but nah, that's a different show.
On the topic.
Dave Chappelle, can he be canceled?
No.
Is he going to be the first person to defeat cancel culture from a mainstream perspective?
I think he's gonna be the first person to cast a stone to start the revolution against cancel culture. But I don't think he's gonna defeat them. Definitely not defeat them. But he's kind of waking everyone up to like, all right, this is bullshit. Like we literally cannot alienate like over 90% of the population because of this less than 5% of the population. Like it doesn't make any sense. So he's the one pointing out that hypocrisy, and yeah, he's starting the revolution, I would say.
What do y'all think? What Japrice, what do you think? Japrice. All right. Danielle, what do you think?
Viva la Chappelle.
You with him? You rocking, huh?
Yes. They canceled him. They canceled his show. Thought they'd go do something. He went and sat down with his money and popped right back out.
Yeah.
People want to hear from him.
Netflix done invested too much money in the Chappelle. They like, no, we're not gonna do that. Just so he can go to HBO Max? Absolutely not. We dying over here. No.
Chappelle pulls numbers, so
yeah, absolutely.
It'd be stupid.
Chris, what do you think? Is Chappelle going to be the first person to defeat cancel culture from a mainstream perspective?
Well, I don't know if he's the first because I follow Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro, and they were like, "No, you're not gonna bring me down."
Are they mainstream though? Would you consider them mainstream? Especially like Ben Shapiro, because I don't consider Ben Shapiro mainstream.
Maybe.
I would say they're mainstream because you got to remember, like a lot more of this world is more like conservative. Like in the big cities where I would say most of us are, it's kind of like liberal. But outside of where we are, most people are pretty conservative.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and maybe I say mainstream because like I listen to Jordan Peterson a lot, and it's on the internet. Like I never see Jordan Peterson on like TV or anything like that. So maybe that's how I'm looking at like mainstream, somebody who's promoted heavily by the media and everything like that. So
Yeah, when you put it that way, yes.
I mean,
yes. For someone who's
doing numbers, I mean, he definitely doing numbers. Like his book sold like over 3 million copies, and Jordan Peterson is doing numbers. But
I think so for someone who's on Netflix, who's on those types of platforms that are actually fairly liberal, I would say Netflix is pretty
it's pretty
for equality.
Yeah.
He's doing a pretty good job of blocking the hits. So yeah, maybe for someone who's on that type of platform, with the reach he has, yeah, I would say so.
I love how he handles the so left liberals. Like he just, to me, he does it so gracefully. You dig? He almost looks like he's ready to snap, but he never does. And when I say snap, like not getting hostile, but you can tell sometimes he gets very irritated by some of the things that people say to him because it's dumb. Like it makes no sense. But anyway, King Gene, is Dave Chappelle going to be the first person in the mainstream sector to defeat cancel culture?
You can't cancel Dave. That's impossible. It go back to like what Dana said. You got somebody that gave up millions, went and chilled in Africa for a little while, came back and was better for doing it. So you can't, if you are unstoppable in that respect, then there's nothing that they can do. Because he's gonna keep going. He's gonna keep going. He's not gonna stop because this is something that he feels strongly about. And so when a person begins a crusade like the one that he begins, it's like CKQ mentioned, he threw the first stone, because I'm quite sure that Dave Chappelle feels like I do. It's like, where is the safe space for regular heterosexual guys? Where's the safe space? Because you got so many people pushing. They pushing. Now you supposed to be this. Well, I want you to talk to me about your feelings. How do you feel? Listen, I'm a man, and I'm behaving as a man, but you want me to behave as something else. And I think he's just tired of that. For years, society has been okay with the men doing what they do and with the women doing what they do. By nature, it has worked. For thousands of years, it's worked. So why now is there a problem with how things work? Now, let me be clear now, because like you said, YouTube, they kicked us off the last time. I'm not referring to anything that would treat a woman as less than what she are. It's less than what she is. I'm sorry. Rights that she's supposed to have, I'm for that. Things that she should have as a human being, I'm for that. But when you go to try to feminize men, now I have a problem with you. Now we're going to bump heads, because as a man, I advocate for men, and I feel that we have a place in society that's important. And if you don't want us to occupy that place, then it's going to be a difficulty. It's going to be some pushback on that, because there are other men that feel just like I do. We want to keep our place, if you don't mind. It's worked for thousands of years. I don't see why we should give it up now. That's my thought now.
Do you think that's one of the reasons that Kevin Samuels has been one of the most talked about people of 2021?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then the thing about that particular issue, man, is it goes back to something that Chris said, and I totally agree with it. The push for feminism has not produced the results that the feminists wanted. It hasn't.
It backfired.
And so now you're seeing the results. We sowed this as a society, and now we're beginning to reap it, right? We're beginning to reap the results of it. And I think what Kevin Samuels is saying is he's trying to help people to appreciate this is what they told you all, but it didn't come true. Because what they did was they tried to break the mold from, like we said, thousands of years ago. They tried to break the mold on things. And now you have men who identify as women who identify as men. And the result of all of this is nothing but confusion. That's all we've gotten from it. It's confusion.
CKQ, what do you think? Is he going to be the first one to defeat it? You muted.
Sorry. No. Like I said before, he started it. He started the snowball, but it's still got to go all the way down the hill. There's still a while left to go. And honestly, I still don't really know if he even started it. I don't think he'd be canceled. He's made himself too much. Him, Bill Burr. There's a couple people in this world that they've built themselves up too well that they can't really be canceled by things like that. And my buddy was actually making a very valid point. It's funny that I'm sure you guys heard about that thing that Ellen DeGeneres,
her employees.
Yeah,
she's a bad person.
Yeah, exactly. And nothing happened to her from all that. Not a single thing happened. So it's just funny that everyone else that is not part of that community can be held liable, but when you're in that community, you're untouched. You could do anything you want. Show? No, she didn't get canceled.
She moved her show to like her own network or something. Like she not she's doing her own thing.
So she on the Oprah.
She on the Oprah.
She on that Oprah stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, yes, Bill Burr, exactly. But as for Dave Chappelle, no, he's gonna keep rocking. But he started a fight. I'll say that. And
I think
I'm curious to see where it'll go.
Japrice, what do you think?
I believe he is undefeated. I believe that he has made it this far. They still haven't made him wear a dress. I believe he's probably like one of the like black men in the mainstream that hasn't wore a dress. And like they can't cancel. They cannot cancel Dave Chappelle. They just can't, because what he says is true, whether you like it or not. And it makes sense if you listen. Yeah, he's undefeated. They haven't canceled him then. I believe he's what, like 3-0. I don't think that they can be able to cancel. I don't think they will be able to take his show off of Netflix. If they do, then it wouldn't be good for Netflix, because they're supposed to be about equality and diversity and all of this stuff that they supposed to represent. So yeah, I believe he's done a very good job at standing his ground. I believe he's also one of the ones who haven't came back and apologized for something that he said about, said to the community, which a lot of people have came back and apologized to. But yeah, so I believe he's done a very good job.
Dave Chappelle said something on the Actors Studio one time that really stuck out with me. He said this like 10 years ago. It was something that he said his father told him, and his father said in the beginning, name your price. Because if you can be bought and sold for anything, you're worth nothing. And at first I didn't understand that. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? But now I get it, because when you have principles and when you live by a code, and you do have that price early in the beginning, you can't be swayed to do stuff like that's not in your best interest. You dig what I'm saying? And I think that right there is what keeps Dave untouchable. Like I said, he would literally have to like mess with children or something like that for him to be canceled, because his fan base is just too strong. And I think it's early to figure out what your price is in the beginning. Like me, I would be totally happy if I can make $100,000 to $200,000 a year doing just this and doing music and podcasting. I wouldn't care what anybody else had to say about me if I could literally make $200,000 a year doing this. I don't need to be a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire, but I don't need to be a millionaire to have a great life, because I have a great life now and I'm not a millionaire. So I think it's important to really have your audience and get your loyal supporters to keep rocking with you. That's why I keep posting them nursing videos, because those people rock with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really rock with me. Like, I get so many emails every day about how I've inspired people to go to school and how they love my channel and how I made people want to be a nurse and turn their life around. Like, I get like emails like that at least like twice a week. And it's crazy because I don't got 100,000 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have that, but it's like, it's crazy how you can affect certain people. So, you know, I'm gonna keep what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep up what I'm doing for them, because I'm the ones that's gonna support you. And if you loyal to your supporters, look at people like Tariq Nasheed. Dude don't even have 200,000 subscribers and raised $1 million. Come on, man. There's people with 14 million followers that can't do that. Raise $1 million for a museum. What's good, Mr. Hall of Fame? Or is it best in the world? Which one is it today?
Hall of Fame is not here anymore. It's best in the world. What's going on, everybody? What's up to the family? Shout out to everybody. King Jinx, salute to everybody. KQ, Chris, Blooming Ebony, the priest. Hi, Viders. I ain't seen you in a minute, brother. What's going on, man?
Grinding. You saw my hair looking crazy the last couple weeks, man. Like, I've been grinding. I haven't even made it to the barbershop. I just got fresh today.
Look, last time I seen you was on a boat. You was on a boat chilling. You had a Bahama mama in your hand. You was chilling, brother. I seen you.
Yeah, man. That'll be me in about 2.5 weeks. What you think about this Dave Chappelle thing, man?
I think with Dave, Dave has always been himself. He's never changed. So for them trying to come after him, man, it doesn't make any sense. You know, and he's always been controversial. If you watch the Chappelle Show was the most controversial television show at that time on TV. He covered things that nobody was talking about or afraid to talk about. And he did it unapologetically. So when you're a black man, you do things unapologetically, they're gonna come for you. They most certainly gonna come for you. So, you know, and I think he already understood that, because they came for him before when they say he was all crazy and he went to Africa and he lost his mind. So this is not new for him. He knows what it is. He's a seasoned veteran. He knows what the game is gonna bring to him, and he'll be fine. But this is the new cancel culture, and this is what they're doing, and it's a part of the system, man. Unfortunately. But Dave will be fine. He'll never lose. He won't lose a fan base at all. He'll be fine.
At all. Black people is not gonna cancel him.
Nope, not at all. Nope.
And neither is Netflix. They don't already pay his ass too much money.
Exactly.
Netflix, like, you're gonna have to ride this out, LBGT. You're gonna have to take this one, because we done paid this man $60 million for these he's gonna do these Netflix specials. We done cut that.
Smart. He took the money and then he's like, all right, I got something for you guys.
Right.
Smart man.
And they're gonna renew. They'll be Netflix dying. Netflix is literally holding on by a thread. They got this whole Squid Game, which I haven't seen yet. But
what, bro? Have to. It was amazing.
I'm gonna check it out, man. But only thing I'm really waiting for is you, with Joe, Crazy Joe, Stalker Joe.
Season 3. I'm curious on how that's gonna turn out.
Yeah. So I don't know, man.
Anything
else y'all want to add? I mean, y'all want to say something?
It is something I want to say.
We can freestyle it for the next couple minutes. Go ahead.
So I just started looking over the internet for the abortion rates and stuff, right? Since we were talking about it.
To say I'm pregnant. I swear to God, I thought that's what you was about to say.
No. Oh my God, I can't get it to turn around. Why can't I get my camera to turn on? Okay, well, y'all tell me. I can hear y'all in my ear. Tell me if y'all can see what I'm showing. But this, can y'all see the thing?
Hold on. Let me give you the solo layout.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so it say white, non-Hispanic, black, non-Hispanic. These are the abortions for 2017. 280,000 per whatever. And blacks are only 295. We just got ahead of them a couple of years ago looking at this thing.
Wow.
This is 17, 16, 15. In 2014 and up, they were ahead of us.
Wow.
You see that?
Is that the number? I'm sorry, go ahead. CJK.
Yes, these are the numbers of This is the abortions
per year.
Yes, per year. Non-Hispanic white, non-Hispanic black. That was 280,000 for the white, 295,000. I'm sure this is per something, but this is for blacks. This is 2017, 2016, 2015.
What's that 1 million right there? What is that?
14. Well, 1 million where?
Totals. Yeah, that's a total roll.
Oh, total.
Like over here.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so it's like going all the way up. They're always ahead of us.
I think the scariest thing is that, like, again, we only make up 13% of the U.S. population.
Exactly.
So,
but I even looked at the growth rate for us.
Exactly.
Even looking at the growth rate for us, our growth rate has been steady. Every other race has risen and fell. We stay right at or above that 500, like half
because of so many
billion.
abortions. Because of all them abortions. That's why. And we're not procreating. We're not reproducing anymore because the women don't need men. Well, our women don't need men. And they're dying alone by themselves. That's why
I'm just saying, they're putting all these things out about us. When I just looked it up, we actually weren't the highest consumer.
But is that per year?
This is per year.
But we're in the U.S. or
in the
world?
U.S.
We're 13% of the U.S. and our numbers are higher than white people who make up how much of the U.S.? That's huge. I understand their number is larger. But is huge.
Yeah, that is still pretty huge for
us
not
huge.
have a.
But it's like they saying that we a higher consumer, but we're actually not. So, like we just got there a couple of years ago.
What I'm saying is the fact that we were able to the fact that we're competing so well, having such small numbers.
Yes.
Compared to their gigantic numbers, that's what I'm saying. Like that's where the problem is. It's like, why are we able to compete this well?
And then, like, if you look at the growth, like the live births, like I said, we stand right around a 500 million. White people drop from 3 to 2, and they're declining. Hispanics are going up. They went from maybe 250 to a million. So I don't know. I'm not saying that we shouldn't be like concerned. I'm just saying that they're lying, saying that we're the largest consumer.
Oh, you're saying the message that's being pushed out is making us look much worse than it actually is. Is that what you're saying?
I think that what I'm saying is that what Chris was saying was correct. Is that white people is killing their babies more, and they declining more rapidly. We have not declined. We have stayed at the same number that we have been at. I'm not saying that that's a good thing. I'm just saying that I agree that I think that Chris was right, that they losing no white people, and they want to stop that. They just dropped by a whole million.
That's a heavy thing, though.
Yeah,
like that is a heavy thing. Like when you really think about it, like
a whole million live births they've dropped.
Now, if you're talking about birth rates too,
that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
They birth rates went from 3 million a year down to 2 million a year. Black people's birth rates has been about 500 million.
God.
Since 1965. Let me show y'all the other chart I was looking at. It's the same thing, the same site. These is white people. They went from 3 million.
Hold on, let me
down to 2 million. They went from 3 million down to 2 million. Black people are steady. Hispanics have rose up.
They have no chill. I mean, it makes sense though.
These other people, even though they real small, they rising up too. They had almost 500,000. They going up. Black people is just steady.
We
ain't going up or down.
We have less families though, but we're still steady having kids.
We're still steady on our birth rate.
Like it's just not adding up.
I mean, family or no family, when you're talking about in the realms of survival as a race, I mean, you can have all the baby daddies you want. I mean, that's a deep point, a good point. But what you say is not adding up. What's not adding up? I want to hear your thoughts, Dupreece.
Can you repeat yourself again? I'm sorry.
You said it's not adding up. I just wanted to hear what you thought about that.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's to me, it's not adding up. Like it. How are we? Give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
Well, while she's doing that, this is why I am a fan of Black people having their own independent studies and research centers and all that stuff. Because, again, I know I may get up on here sounding like Umar Johnson sometimes, but it is what it is. Like when you are in control, you can rewrite history to how you want it to look. And you can also write the present. That is why it's so important to have independent media. I'm not saying that their studies and the CDC is wrong, but these people have been proven to be liars in the past. So I'm a fan of independent media as well. I think it's good to compare and contrast. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that one side is wrong, and I'm not saying one side is right. But when you always have one person tell the story from any aspect, it's gonna be looking crazy. I mean, look at the movies and the media. Look at Gods of Egypt. Of an all-white cast. Let them tell it. I mean, that's ridiculous. But that's a whole different topic. It's a whole different topic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't eaten yet. So I'm on some OMAD stuff today. So I'm gonna go around and see if everybody, has some last and final thoughts. I'll start with CKQ.
Last and final thoughts. Thanks for having me up here.
Sure.
I'm glad I was finally able to come back to your channel after a while. I've been kind of busy, grinding.
Man, we all grinding right now.
Yeah, but I'm curious to see how this whole cancel culture thing works out, and it's going to be fun to watch it play out. I know everyone on this panel is going to be rich, so we're all going to be with our billions on a panel somewhere. All right. Or on an island somewhere. Let's say that. All right. Or on an island somewhere.
Yeah,
and there's going to be chilling talking about this, how the world's gone to, crap. But that's really all I got to say about that.
Bring Gullah Gullah Island back.
What's that?
Bring Gullah Gullah Island back.
Gullah Gullah?
Yeah.
I remember that show. That was on Nickelodeon.
That was a real island.
Okay.
It was a Black people's island. They got bought out by white people.
Oh.
Speaking of island, have you heard of North Sentinel Island?
No. What is that?
That's the only unconquered nation on the planet, I think.
Wow.
I'm about to look it up. What you call it?
North Sentinel Island. It's an island full of Black people that has not yet been conquered. It's pretty dope. They try every time somebody try to go over there, they end up killing them, like missionaries and all that kind of stuff.
Whoa.
No.
They end up killing them. Oh yeah, it's real interesting. North Sentinel Island is one of the only. I think it is the only nation that has not been conquered. They will kill you if you step foot on that island. So,
he left already.
Yeah, let me see if I can find something since we at it. King Gene, I'm surprised you never heard of that. You never heard of North Sentinel Island?
I have not, my brother. Not at all.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
See, look at CJ being good for something.
Between you and Daniel, man, I have learned quite a bit tonight.
It's a whole fact.
Claire Huxtable was for the streets.
Now you can't be bashing her and then trying to say I'm her for the streets. Huh?
Claire, oh yeah, she for the streets, all right.
We love her.
I love Felissa Rashad for sure. For sure.
I love Claire.
No, Claire ain't shit.
I love Claire.
But you ain't the only one according to the receipts now.
Right. A lot of other people love Claire too. He was out here. Did you see the? Hey, Chris, did you see
all them clips out?
Chris, did you see the receipts I pulled up?
No.
Oh.
I wasn't here yet.
Oh.
She said she not forward.
Oh, I got
to paint her image of Claire.
Yes, do you got
completely for it? I need to not
you
for the streets. Listen,
you got 2 minutes, Chris?
Of course, I have 2 minutes to talk about how Claire Huxtable isn't for the streets.
Always,
or is for the streets. My bad, is for the streets.
Let me just give me 2 minutes, Lord Jesus. Me and King Gene
always trying to show this.
Me and King Gene was in total disgust.
Well, I think we had this conversation like weeks ago, and we
did
have the video, and I couldn't be here for the first part of the video, so if you will bless me with filling me in on what happened,
Bless.
You ain't
I'm
said
very
nothing but a
grateful.
word. I want to give a shout out to Dee Dee, who has ruined the Cosby Show for me. But I can still enjoy it though. But she really ruined it though. Let me see. Let me get back to the video. Let me see. Hold on. It's coming. Here we go. I got 3 receipts. I'm gonna play the most disrespectful one last. I'm gonna play the most disrespectful one last because it was quite disrespectful if you ask me. And I know Japrice and King Gene saw, but I'm gonna play it for the people who wasn't here. Now y'all tell me if y'all think this is appropriate. Let me see. So disrespectful receipt number 1. Hold on. Let me rewind it to the beginning. All right. Let's see.
That we made along the way that maybe our parents didn't approve of either. Like what? Well, for one, I know my parents would have liked for me to have married a good-looking man with a lot of money. And a smaller nose.
Receipt number 1.
I can't really hear the beginning.
Yeah, I know. Hold on. Let me see. Try it again.
That we made along the way that maybe our parents didn't approve of either. Like what? Well, for one, I know my parents would have liked for me to have married a good-looking man with a lot of money. And a smaller nose.
All right. That's one. Here's one where she's out on a date with a man that she knows her husband doesn't like.
Curl in the corner when you get embarrassed.
Let me
The
see.
table must be.
All right.
You know your mouth still gets that little curl in the corner when you get embarrassed.
The table must be ready by now.
I was too eager back then too, wasn't I? That's why you started calling me puppy.
Actually, Cliff gave you that name.
I figured he never liked me. Did he have good reason not to like me?
So why you out to dinner with the nigga if he don't like you? If he didn't like him?
That's
disrespectful ass.
All right, so that's another one.
Shout out to CJ's commentary.
And this is the most disrespectful one of all.
Well, that's for Ray Jones.
Because your wife is for the streets, sir. That's why she looked like she enjoyed it.
I don't know. I can't. That third one though, I can't really say I blame the other guy or the wife. I blame him. I blame him.
Chris, talk to me.
Claire Huxtable baited Cliff Huxtable. She put him right in the beta bucket.
Jesus Christ.
Like, she knows I can do whatever I want, and I'm the best you'll ever get, so you're not going to go anywhere. You know, you don't do that. You don't do that with an alpha. You don't do that with somebody who you know has options that are better than you.
There's someone that you respect.
Someone that you respect.
She belongs to the streets.
The streets are calling her name.
That's hilarious.
Fully baited.
Danny, what was that disrespectful or no?
No.
What?
No.
How was that not disrespectful?
Viva la Claire.
Oh, okay. You just ride now, just to ride. Okay. I'm waiting for that other clip, babe. I'm waiting. Where is it?
Leave my huckleberries alone.
Okay. Hold on. Yeah, I'm about to check. So Dee Dee is trying to send me another clip of her being disrespectful.
There's a lot, huh?
Yeah.
He said there's a lot, huh?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can't find a clip, and I'm ready to eat. I'll show it next time. It's not coming up. Oh wait, hold on. Let me see. Oh, it's in. All right, I see it now. I got it. All right. Okay. All right.
We ruining this woman's reputation like that.
Oh no, I'm just telling the truth.
I think we're just casting some light on.
She don't need no light.
Yeah, because she's throwing a lot of shade right now.
Buy a dog. Let me see. All right, here we go. I'm gonna press play. Wait, it's no sound. It's no sound. Wait, hold on. We'll wind it to the beginning.
Oh, this is a cold family.
What's the point?
Suppose I died and your mother came home with a young boy.
How cute are they? A hunk. How young?
19.
Where are his parents gonna sleep?
Watch clear.
I'm kidding. Where is he gonna sleep? Well, this is your father's story. He will have to designate where the young man will sleep. I do hope it's me. Oh!
But I ain't never seen this. Watch this.
I died.
Yeah.
All right. So that was it.
Oh, this is a cold family.
That was it.
It's till death do us part. If he was dead, I mean, what?
She for the streets. Should have left her in New York, right on New York streets. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that wraps up this episode. I'm gonna give let people shine their platforms out. Let's see who we starting with. I'll start with Danny D. Let me see.
Hi, my name's Danielle. You can find me on YouTube at My Sister's Keeper or on Instagram at Fly Nurse Mom Wife, and on Saturdays on Knowledge and Relationships, the Women's Panel.
Dope. Shout out to Knowledge and Relationships.
Hi.
Yeah,
My name's Clements. I'm the host of CKQ Podcast Show on my channel. Do me a favor, hit that like button while you're here for CJ's show. CJ, thanks for having me. You're always great. I always love the way you run your panels. And I'm really looking forward to that joke.
Oh, yeah, it's coming.
I'm waiting for it.
It's coming. All right. Cool. Jay Pizzle. I don't know. Is Japri still here? Japri, if you need help, blink twice. Well, you ain't have to blink.
I think she blinked.
I know. All right, we'll come back. King Jizzle.
All right, so as CJ mentioned, the title of my podcast is The King Gene, and if you want to call me the King Gene, you want to call me Marcus, look, either way, it's okay.
Okay,
I know who you talking to.
Not to cut you off, you're gonna have to explain that. What does the King Gene mean then? What is the origin? Please explain that to us.
Okay, so when I first came up with the name, I was thinking about royalty, but more than that, I was thinking about qualities that make a person regal, right? Qualities that have stood the test of time, and then specifically qualities that men have displayed that have stood the test of time. And so, in order to just add a little flair to it, I decided, okay, the King Gene sounds pretty good. But that's what we focus on. That's the focus of it. Qualities that really exemplify what manhood is. Because nowadays you can't really tell. Especially now with our conversation where, you're going to have to do a DNA test to find out whether this is really a guy anyway. We're gonna get Danny to do that. She's gonna put a patent on that. So we're gonna be all us gonna be rich. Like CKQ said, we're gonna be on the island, and I'm gonna be the one barbecuing. We good.
Hey, you got them uncle slippers, the uncle sandals.
But where did Gene come from?
All right.
Like your
genetics.
gene pool?
You said
GENE?
genetics. So as a man, right? What determines whether or not you're a man or male?
The king gene. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Makes
The
sense.
king gene. And so it's not, and that's why a lot of times when y'all ask me, I say, I'm not the king gene, because there are two other gentlemen that are on the panel that represent the same thing. They have a regal quality about them. They have qualities that have stood the test of time. They're respectable. They're individuals who are on their purpose. And that's what that means. That's the essence of what the king gene is. And then I also believe in the ability for any man to develop those qualities. If you want to become the best version of yourself, I know we hear that a lot on YouTube, but if you want to become the best version of yourself, I support that. I'm in full agreement with it, because the only thing it's going to do is going to make families stronger. It's going to make the relationships between men and women stronger. And by, extension, it's going to make society stronger. So that's my thing.
Let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all got 10 extra minutes, or do y'all got to go?
I'm okay.
Y'all good for 10 minutes? Okay. Because King Gene, you said something that I want to touch on, because I was listening to something that Umar Johnson said. And he said the concept of the high value man is a European concept. And I've heard this several times from several people. What are your thoughts, the whole panel's thoughts, on the concept of the high value man being a European concept? I definitely don't agree with that. He talks about Africa from a socialist standpoint, and I'm nah. But what do y'all think?
I mean, even if let's just play by his point. Even if it was, what does that mean? Like what's he trying to say? That, hey, listen, if you as a black man hit all these markers to get into this level, we don't play by that level. So you're still not there. You're still down here with the rest of us, because no. It's another way to try to make it so flatten out the playing field, that all of us are equal, all of us are level. Some of us work harder to separate ourselves from the whole pack, and we should just accept that. So I don't believe in it. No.
Ladies, what y'all think? European concept or no?
Men come in all races.
Rich men come in all races, yeah.
So, I mean, is it the wording that came from white men? Maybe black men wasn't calling themselves high value. They were using some other terminology. Is that what it is?
Maybe. I have no idea. Like I really had to sit back and think about what he was talking about when he said that, because I'm like, what do you mean that's a European concept? I mean, nature at its core, if I have more food than you, therefore I am more valuable to everybody in the tribe. That's not that's not a European concept. That is a humanistic concept. To, if I have more to eat, I'm not going to die. If you don't have anything to eat, you will die.
Right.
So I don't know where he comes from with that. I think that is a way to keep people focused on what he's doing, and with the way Kevin Samuels has popularized the term high value man, because it's a shot at him. He was taking a shot at him. And comparing it to being a European man's way of thinking, I think that's a dumb way to think, because you sitting here, if I'm a man telling other young black men to work hard, work 80 to 100 hours a week, make the most money that you can, get to the upper echelon of what you want to do to have a great life. What about that is a European concept? Are you saying that that's only exclusive to Europeans?
No, can't be.
Right.
And
are you saying since we are all Africans that we are all equal? That's no. Chris,
but, CJ, you know what you said, CJ. One, and I wanted to touch on that too. Even in a tribe, there's a chief, there are elders. So are they at the same level as the rest of the individuals in the tribe? I mean, the whole concept to me, when I hear high value man, it speaks of excellence to me. Just look, put forth the effort, put the work in, do everything that you possibly can do to have the best outcome. That doesn't have to do with any ethnic group. That's just common sense. You want to live well, work hard.
Yeah.
I mean, and it takes me back to something my father told me before he passed. He said, son, if you want to have anything in this world, you got to get it with your hands. Do the best you can. Now that he told me that, I mean, and a lot of the stuff that Kevin Samuel says sounds like my father. So I'm like, okay, well, I can understand where you're coming from. Now, some of the terms he may use, a lot of people don't agree with, but he's basically saying, if you want to live well, if you want your life to be something that you can be proud of, put the work in. Now, all of the other offshoots that people got, the negative opinions, these are usually the people that are not doing any work. You stationary. So
yeah, because when you got a man with a spotlight on him like that, holding up a mirror to you, it really makes you look at what you are and what you are not doing. Somebody told me that if you broke in your 30s and ain't nothing mentally or physically wrong with you, it's your fault.
It is.
I believe that. Chris, what do you think?
I agree with CKQ. I agree with everybody, I think. I think it's the most like American capitalistic concept you can think of, like work hard, get what you got to get. There's no excuses, not here. So there's nothing about it is European at all. I'm pretty sure most European nations are socialist.
Yeah.
That is like the most American thing ever. Come here, work hard, get what you got to get, take care of your family, and you can achieve the absolute best if you work hard enough. Nothing about that is European. I'm really tired of people trying to redefine words to fit their narrative. It's a word. Go to the actual meaning, which is high value. Nothing about that is white or black or European or whatever. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous how people, white people, I don't know why they keep trying to add these grand connotations to words to try to shift people's mindsets away from things that are extremely positive. Like, why wouldn't you want to encourage people to be high value? Even if you don't make it, but shoot for the stars and lay on a cloud, But don't try and discourage it because you're trying to make them feel like they're acting a certain way that isn't African or it isn't black, isn't pro-black.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing an injustice, to be honest.
I don't know why he said that. Because it's, why though? I think because it's a tangible goal. It's something that people can see. It's not one of these things where it's a boogeyman pulling the strings or holding you back or anything like that. And that's one of the, like I said, America has its problems, but one of the good things about this country is that you can literally come from nothing and become something. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that some people don't have a more difficult plight than others, but oh well, that's the card you were dealt. What are you gonna do about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's, like I said, that's always been my internal struggle because, like I said, I want to see people that look like me do well. You know what I'm saying? But I am not for the handouts. That is something I won't do. You know what I'm saying? Because if I can do it, anybody else can do it. So I don't know. That whole high value man, that's a white man concept. That is a white man's concept. What? Mansa Musa was the richest person that ever lived. That's a black man. So you telling me that's a white man's concept? That's crazy. But I bet you he want one of them high value men to donate to the school. So with that being said,
did Danielle go?
Oh yeah, did you go, Danny? Yeah, Danny went.
Yeah.
I think she did. Okay. Well, are you guys ready for the joke of the day?
Got you.
What happens when you go to the bathroom in France?
What?
European. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I would be here all week.
Wow.
CJ, I thought you were gonna say wee, man.
Yeah. I had to throw a swerve at you. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been fun. I always enjoy myself talking to you guys, and y'all make sure y'all go hit each and every one of their platforms up, show them some love, show them some support. They doing phenomenal things over there, and they just good people. So until next time, boys and girls, I bid you adieu. It's time to go eat.
Peace.
Peace.